136, right, David?
Yeah, that's what I have.
Okay.
136.
56?
36.
136.
Okay, 136. All right. Welcome back to M&A&D episode 136. Scaledeep. Um, M&A has journeyed into the Underdark in search of the Art Blade, a fabled weapon of myth, genre, lore, and potentially the only weapon that can free Quetzalcoatl from his enchanted bindings after he was captured with the help of Narrowbane and his ilk. The spider webs on of accomplices span the many planes of existence. After rescuing uh, a hunting a hunting party of Kuatoa, they were brought back to their village as conquering heroes and were introduced to their deity. All right, so we're gonna. So again, you guys just found a large purple worm battling ferociously against these just kind of terrified and meek little Kuatoa who are desperately trying to stab it with spears and do their best to survive. Um, but that battle was not going well until you all stepped in and kind of heroically uh, jumped into action and fairly quickly dispatched of it, right? Um, the Kuatoa, who are half or who are like fish people, right?
Yep. I mean,
Um,
that's a little rude, but yeah.
they're more than that. They have feelings, and my apologies, Kuatoa. But yes, so they seem to just immediately, um, you know, are just so endeared with you that they brought you back to their village, and you are brought into like the deeper into the depths of the Underdark, where you find this first gate, and again, it's this looks like this weird distorted mirror image of what you could expect on the surface world of a maybe like a little less or more primitive species. It's this wall made of logs, but these ones are very different, right? These logs are seemed almost like to be made out of bark and petrified wood, as nothing down here is quite the same as the material above ground. And there's torches that light the doorway or the gateway, but kind of all around you are these um, luminescent mushrooms and plant life that glow different shades of pink, green, blues, yellows, um, that kind of continue to light these caverns. And as you the gates open, you hear like these drum beats and stuff that are going on, and immediately the chairs kind of start going up into the air and start echoing through the cavern. Um, Again, the language that they speak, although um, I believe Astrid is speaking with them um, um,
Yes.
through her mental connection, right?
Yeah.
The rest of you just hear this like chanting
They're a bunch
as
of
loud as that could
putties.
be. Yeah, no idea how that make that sound work. Well, you guys are brought in through the main street of this village, and again, there's these buildings, and they're not square or rectangular. They're all built almost semi think anchor watts, right? As a lot of it is stone that's carved from like the lava that had poured through this area at one point, right? And had long ago cooled and created um, the stones and the stalactites and stalagmites that this is made out of, and these large pillars that stretch up and down this enormous caverns. right. So as you head through the this main fairway, a lot of the Kuato start to gather along the side, and it's almost like you're a parade as they kind of gather to see these topsiders who came in and rescued their kin. And you pass by, off to your right, you pass by this giant 15-foot sculpture carved out of that same rough stone that all the buildings are, but this has been polished to a shine, and it is this 15-foot female, right? But she has these long silky legs and then this torso that with a bare chest, and this sitting on top of her shoulders is this bulging fish head and this large fish tail juts out from her hips. And they bring you to the largest of the structures at the end of this walkway, and that is when you see this sinewy figure step out from the shadow. Unlike the statue, though, as she steps into the light of the bioluminescent plant life, she resembles the statue you all had passed, but she is frail and emaciated with, I guess, dark shadows under her eyes. And she walks up to you and to greet you. Astrid.
I was going to say I'll transfer my mind link to her.
She has this very kind of,
of course.
Yes, well, she has a very tired voice, and she says, "Greeting, heroes. I welcome your visit, and I thank you for saving my children. You've done us a great service, and we're grateful for what you've done. Please prepare to rest here. We'll give you food and drink." And she starts to, and then her stomach starts to kind of quiver and shake. She puts her hands up like this and just releases this glopping pile of fish eggs onto the ground, standing like about a foot high. And kind of embarrassing, like steps aside while one of the Kuato just rushes in and scoops it up and takes them off. Pardon me. Again. We thank you for what you've done. My name is Bill Dolo Plop. And I am the deity.
You're gonna have to give us a spelling of that. And
I want you to try to spell it first, and then I'll.
Nope.
Try to spell it in the chat.
That's what I heard.
What? All right.
Something blob.
I can't.
Remember, Ben, we had it out for you, and you decided you wanted this. That's pretty close.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty damn close.
I read Bilbo. I can't even lie to you.
That's what I had to. I was fighting it.
May
We
I
thought
ask who our conquering heroes are? But first, can I offer up one gift? And I promise with all sincerity, it is meant to only help. She looks over to her right, and one of the Kuatoa comes up, and on kind of this, again, a petrified bark, there are 6 little slugs. And the Kuatoa looks at Liam, and he picks up one of the slugs and he wiggles and he like kind of motions to. He doesn't have an ear,
I love that.
but he motions like to your ear.
I've seen a lot of things going in other people's ears recently, or faces, or I'm still not sure anything's wrong with my brother's head. But I'm not really in for putting unknown things. Can I do like an Arcana check or something? See if I recognize what this is.
Ooh, it might be a nature check.
Yeah,
Or
it would.
nature.
I don't know. Arcana will do anything with this.
That's fine. That's fine. Tell me what you want me to. Can I roll a skill to see what the fuck this is? Nature's fine.
Yeah.
Can Val make a nature check to see if he's seen these before?
I would.
I have a sneaking suspicion based off of science fiction, and I'm wondering if it's one of those things. And I'm like, if it is, would Val have like encountered this in any of like the Spelljammer-esque style of locations that he's
Alex
been
is
through?
thinking this is from fucking Animorphs, and I'm not putting no motherfucker in my ear to take over my brain.
I would say so. So his nature check doesn't really help him. You're welcome to also do a nature check.
Okay.
You're welcome to put this in your hair because you already got shit in your head. So what's a little bit more chaos?
If there actually is an argument about what a deity is offering, the cleric looks at all of them like they need manners.
They said
and will put
deity?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that
it's
is
a deity.
she is technically their deity.
Yeah. So
Um,
my statement stands. I will put it in my ear if a deity who I don't think is an evil is offering
Okay.
something.
So as
Okay, I
The
rolled
rest of
well.
them
I was
start-
gonna assume I was
yeah.
gonna roll well.
The rest
on
of them
religion.
start- examining this, before you have a chance to see what their decision is, you just let it slide right into your ear canal. Meanwhile, Astrid and the Plolop is continuing to converse, and all of a sudden, your kind of ear perks up, and you get this like, face. At the same time, Val, you have also heard rumors of creatures that help bridge the gap between for communication between species. And
It's a babblefish.
yeah, and you're curious, is this a babblefish?
that's pretty cool.
And babblefish alone proves that there are gods in this world. If my guide does say so.
Make sure we all have our towels. Very important.
Yep.
And so now you're very comfortable with knowing what it is. What are you going to do with it?
Val will similarly place one in his ear.
All right, and then
Same as Valen.
your babblefish says, "God, there's not a lot of room in here. It's pretty crowded. No, it's already fucking crowded in here." No, all right. So everybody starts to kind of put it in, and then Liam, you're the last one. Well, I don't know. Astrid doesn't need it, but she's welcome to
well,
one.
I will actually, because the psychic thing, I can only converse with the singular individual,
Mhm.
and I'm assuming like if I use the fish, then I would be able to like hear the conversations happening around me as well, or is it like distinctly focused?
No, it's gonna just be able to
Okay,
translate.
yeah, then I'll swap
everything.
over to that as well.
All right, Liam.
If I start changing anything, I want you guys to kill me. And then.
Oh my
I'll
God.
put it in
Oh,
my-
we We've been thinking about it even without you changing to anything else. So just
Oh my gosh.
On second thought, I hope this thing makes so I can't understand you guys ever again, and I put it in here.
So now she says, "Welcome, companions of Astrid. Again, my name is Lodolopol, and I'm so happy that you're going to be here. Please step inside as we can discuss anything that you have. Tell us of the happenings of the bow world." And she pulls you into her temple. You follow her up these kind of large stairs, and you look at her bare feet and wonder how they're not getting cut on this jagged.
She has bare
What
feet
a-
too. That's crazy. She's
Yeah.
fish up top, bear on the bottom.
Nice. Um,
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
as she walks up, what is the stone? The pummel stone. What is that called?
The what?
Like pumice?
Yeah. What is the stone called? That it was once lava, but it's not.
Rosetta Stone?
Oral?
It's not obsidian.
The fuck are you talking about, Rosetta
Rosetta
Stone?
Stone.
Wait,
He's talking about talking in a
Pumice?
stone.
Wait. Are you talking about pumice?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's another thing that the stone is called.
There's the coral. So there's coral stones. There's to the Googles.
Yeah.
I'm literally on Wikipedia right now.
I have no. I feel like I put one of
Lapis?
those things into my brain, and I have no idea what you guys are talking about. This is all.
Oh my
gibberish to me
God,
now.
Terry. Oh, Terry.
Attaboy, Terry. What did you do? He had this. Terry, Jesus Christ. That's almost better than what I was picturing. So thank you for that. That actually helps me out.
Better or
my
worse?
all-time favorite anime, by the way.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
I got pumice, scoria. There's a lot of geology words being thrown around on this.
Right.
Obsidian?
It's not obsidian. Damn it.
90s
I was
Japanese
sure.
anime
But
is
anyways,
wild.
it's the volcanic rock that is full of the cavities, and so scoria, some may even say if they googled it. And she brings you inside of this temple, and it's not comforting at all inside of her. It's still everything like this, the bedding, the steps, it's almost like a sofa carved out of the same stone, right? Everything has these just nasty jagged edges. As she goes and she sits down, and so as you kind of bring into this room, there's these torches that are lit that light up this room, and she sits across from you in this kind of large chair that's carved out of it. This intricately large chair. It has thing etched into it, like so the arms that come up the sides are giant purple worms, and along the sides of it you see pictures of the Kuatoa that are battling to their deaths, and then briefly before she sat down, you saw on the backing them kind of bowing as she's like kind of raised, an image of her is raised above them. So what is it that brings you down here?
We're searching for someone as well as a relic.
Someone like you all, that looks like you all?
From not the Underdark, yes.
Well, we certainly don't get many of them. And I don't recall seeing any elves or humans, or and then she kind of looks at Vamo. Big individuals.
Where
down
did she
here.
look at Vommel exactly when she said that?
She started at his waistband and then just
Okay.
kept looking up. Well, you can't really tell because her eyes are on the side of her head,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
right?
so you don't
Like
really know what's
fish.
happening there. Yeah, where does a fish look?
Clumsy
Waistband, dude.
lady.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Y'all need Jesus, every single one of you.
You're the one that was struggling with a leather dog collar earlier, so I don't know.
I don't struggle with that.
Out of context, no
Alright.
one knows what that joke meant, but it was funny.
Yeah,
No.
no.
I think it's better that they don't know. It actually works out even better. Were they friendly or were they aggressive towards you?
No, we haven't seen any outsiders. And, I mean, everything down here is aggressive to my people. So that is just the nature of this place, and well, is why I've come to existence. The hardships down here are plentiful and never ending. And thus the need for a deity like myself.
Have you and your people always been indigenous to this place?
Well, I would say I'm not indigenous, no. Kuatoa, hardly. They were once a proud sea-loving species who were brought to this place, tortured and used by the Illithid, who became the slaves to those and controlled mentally, physically, spiritually for eons, the entirety of their existence, until they were able to finally break free. But the corruption of so many generations of Illithid control changed them entirely. They were bred to no longer need water to breathe, no longer need water to move, to pull themselves up out of the water and walk on this harsh, jagged floor. They spent so many centuries with those things buried deep in their brains, always sending psychic communications throughout the Underdark that it left a lasting imprint. And through their collective remembrance of the time before, their struggles in the mines here, they recalled the land they left and the gods that they left. And they remembered their god, the Biliplopo. And so, several hundred years ago, in their desperation to fight back against the Illithid controllers, they willed me into existence. And they brought me here because they needed the strength to